Respected members of the Sahitya Academy, esteemed fellow panelists and lovers of literature. It's both an honor and a deeply humbling moment to stand here at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, an emblem of our democratic ideals and cultural legacy, to speak on a subject very close to my heart, feminist literature in India. As a writer who has spent 2 decades telling stories of women who dared to dream, fight, falter, and rise again, I believe literature is not just a mirror to the society. It is a torch that lights the way forward. And feminist literature? That's a torch for millions of Indian women. It throws light on those who have lived in the shadows and gives voice to the ones unheard. Let me begin with a personal story. The year was 2001. I had just given birth to my daughter and I already have a son. I was desperately hoping for a girl. And when my daughter was born, I cried tears of joy because I could not believe it, because it's rarely that you get what you deeply desire. And the nurses around me told me, "Don't worry, don't cry, you can try for a boy next time." I was aghast. I said, "I have a son, I'm crying because I'm happy." Later I reflected, this was the world my daughter was born into. A world where the birth of a girl is still seen as a misfortune. A world where being male somehow automatically elevated your worth. Fast forward 2025, and this happened just a few weeks back. I walked into a government clinic for a normal checkup, and I saw a board there which said sex determination of the fetus is a crime, which is fine, no problem. And then I saw another board which said a woman is a future mother, wife, daughter or sister. Message very well intended, but I felt a deep pang of sadness. Even today, a woman's worth is still measured in relation to men. If she is not someone's wife or mother, is her life of a lesser value? Is she not an individual? Journalist and filmmaker Amitabh Parashar captured this painful reality in the 2024 documentary Midwife's Confession. It's available online, you all can go and have a look at it. Over 30 years, he documented female infanticide in India. Newborn girls killed by midwives under instructions from male family members. Women like Hakia Devi, Dharmi Devi, they have confessed on camera to ending lives of infants. And they didn't do it out of cruelty. They did it on the instructions of the male members of the family. They were all women caught in the grip of a brutal patriarchal system. These stories are horrifying, but they're real. In spite of the strides we've made as a nation, we continue to grapple with gender discrimination that begins even before birth. And that is why feminist literature matters. It shines a light on injustice and it also helps us imagine a better future. When I published my own book, The Secret Wishlist, it's a novel about a woman who's discovering her buried desires within the confines of an unhappy marriage. I was simply writing about the women I see around me. And after the book was released, I received hundreds of messages from women across India, homemakers, professionals, and they said, "This is my story. I feel seen and I want to make a wish list too." That's when I realized that literature, when written with honesty, doesn't just reflect reality, it transforms it. Many of my books, Life is What You Make It, Rule Breakers, Wake Up, Life is Calling, they feature women who are not strong in the conventional sense. They cry, they doubt, they stumble, but they rise. And that quiet resilience, that inner voice saying, "I deserve more," that too is feminism. So how is feminist literature in India breaking new ground today? I'll give you 4 points, 4 ways in which feminist literature is breaking new ground. 1, we are telling stories that were once hidden. We live in a culture that places countless restrictions on women. Most of us women present here would have heard this at some point or the other. Don't go out after dark. Don't wear this. Don't speak too loud. Don't dream too big. There's pressure to marry, there's pressure to confirm, there's pressure to stay silent, and it's happening even today in 2025. In this context, it takes courage for women to tell their stories. It takes immense courage. As women, I'm sure all of us can relate. Nalina Jimila's Autobiography of a Sex Worker is one such book I deeply admire. Her honesty, the way she owns her narrative, unafraid of judgment, is commendable. Likewise, Kamala Das's My Story, published in 1976, was a confessional account that defied norms around marriage, desire, and femininity. These stories paved the way for others. 2, the second way in which feminist literature is changing, we are embracing non-traditional forms. Graphic novels, illustrated books, zines, feminist literature is no longer confined to the printed word. Take Gutsy Girls of Science by Ilina Singh, an illustrated book that explores the contribution of 11 Indian women in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. From cytogeneticist Archana Sharma to mathematician Raman Parimala to botanist Janaki Ammal, the book is a celebration of lives of these pioneering women. Like a Girl by Aparna Jain has stories of 56 trailblazing women from Savitribai Phule to Shah Bano, accompanied by art by female illustrators. Even my own novel, When Love Came Calling, which follows a spirited young girl on a journey of self-discovery, is now being adapted into a graphic novel. Why? Because we need to speak to young people in a language and format which they relate to. It doesn't always have to be highbrow literature. As long as the story is read and its message felt, the medium doesn't matter. What matters, it reaches the hearts and the minds of the people. The third way, we are creating new readers. We are reaching new readers. Feminist literature is not just limited to the academic. Thanks to digital platforms, stories are democratic. Every woman with a phone can now read a story that makes her feel less alone. My house help Farida, she's a single woman. She came to Bangalore from her small village. She cannot read or write, but she listens to my audiobooks in Kannada and she feels very happy. And that to me is the power of feminist literature, reaching those who were once excluded. We are all privileged, we can, but there are so many women out there, and when we reach them, it's a very powerful thing. The last way in which it's changing, we are not afraid to be commercial. For too long, feminist literature was expected to be serious, academic, but why can't it also be fun, fierce, accessible? My books have sold over 1 million copies. Publishers call them commercial fiction. But to me, they are simply stories that people connect with. And that connection, that's where change begins. I don't know if what I write qualifies as feminist literature, but I do know that my fiction contributes to everyday feminism, the kind that helps women to 1, reflect on their choices, 2, claim their joy, 3, break free from the guilt and the conditioning, which all of us have been guilt-tripped, conditioned, and we all, grapple with it every day. Because feminism is not about man-bashing. Apologies to all the gentlemen here, I'm not bashing men at all. It's not about claiming superiority. It's about telling our daughters that you can be anything, you can do anything. Feminist literature doesn't just hold a mirror to the society. It offers a map and it asks, what if things were different? What if that girl truly did what she wanted to? What if that widow found love again? What if that mother chased her dream? And with that every what if, it helps us believe that maybe, just maybe, it can happen. As I stand here today, I think of the many young girls picking up pens and writing their truths. I hope our words give them courage. I hope our stories tell them, you matter, your voice matters. In a world that still too often silences women, writing becomes an act of power. Reading becomes an act of rebellion. And literature becomes a quiet revolution, word by word, woman by woman. May our pens never run out of ink. May our stories never run out of courage. Thank you for listening and thank you for believing in the power of women's voices. I'm deeply grateful to be a part of this journey where stories change lives and words build worlds. Thank you for being a part of mine.
Thank you.